I am back, guys. I'm probably going to be doing some small videos from now and until tomorrow because there's this whole birthday going on for Reborn, and I've been really waiting for it to hit. And that's something that I've been really extremely anxious for. So I thought it was time for me to show you guys a little bit of how I build and how I was learned. So years ago, when I first started, this is back in 2010. I had a very old friend. He's gone now. He passed away because of COVID, and he told me about this HUD that I needed, and he bought it for me. And about about 5 years ago, it was actually on their website. It says that the Prim Docker was no longer you can no longer buy it, which sucks because I love the concept of Prim Docker. The only reason why I think they went out of business was because that is when people was starting to build more in mesh houses, and it's so much more easier to put snap things to the grid. But how I like it is with my OCD, I like things perfectly lined up. And so because of that, I like to be able to say, okay, well, this is a perfect where it needs to be, and it lines up really nice. So today, I'm going to show you guys how I find the middle of a room, and I figure out how I want to do the walk-in closets, and sort of hence everything else. Okay, so first things first, if you have Perm Docker, you can use this. If not, you're going to be at this for about half an hour just to figure out the snap to grid. Have fun with that. But today we're going to be working on an oldie but goldie. I usually bring this out once in a blue moon. I stopped using it because it was giving me a lot of errors after I removed the after I used the scripts and stuff. But I just bring it out just when I'm building things that I know that I'm going to be selling. This house I am actually selling. I wanted to put a mesh home, realistic home on the market. A lot of these mesh houses that are built realistic, like the one I live in, it is some of it, it's the kitchen's way too long and way too thin, or the bedrooms are massively massive, and you really can't keep adding a lot on, especially if you're low on prims. And a lot of people are buying these mesh houses because they are low on the prims or whatever. So I like to be able to put in my own furniture, and I like to do my own measurements, and they can just go from there. So I got the same exact width and height and thickness of this room here. This room is going to be a walk-in closet. Okay, so I like to be able to figure out the middle. So what I like to do is just grab, this is the prim that I want to find the middle, so you just click that first. It changes to cool colors, and there's your middle. So now we're going to go over here, and we're going to go grab one single window. We can we can actually grab one of the windows that we were building onto. It's not really a big problem. You can grab whatever you were working with, or you can get a fresh prim or a fresh mesh prim, sorry, and you can figure out this. I've been at this for about 3 days now, and the first day I was really scared. I was daunting. I didn't know how I wanted this built, but I really have the idea. So me being raised in a small town, I've seen a lot of homes built this way, and because of the way that they were built, this brings a lot of my childhood back. So this is where I'm actually standing in the balcony, area, and this is the front area. So there's one bedroom. I gotta fix some walls. I'll do that later. And there's another bedroom. Okay, gotta fix stuff and everything else. This is the grand living room. So this is where you come and you visit and you have people over. Somewhere needs to be a fireplace, so I might put a fireplace right there in the middle. And out here is going to be a balcony, a massive balcony. In here will be the kitchen and dining. Here's going to be the laundry room. As I said, realism is what we want. This is going to be the massive master family room. And this is where everybody comes and visits and enjoys themselves. All right, we'll go back inside. And there's places that we gotta fix. We'll fix that in a little bit. This is the master bedroom. I love how big, airy, and open, and how amazing all these windows turned out. I really like this. This is the master bathroom. And I love massive windows in the master bathroom. I feel like it brings a lot of light in. And this is the last thing we were working on was the walk-in closet. And then I was going to go off camera and I was going to align everything. And then I was going to figure out how I was going to line everything up and lock everything up. And that's really easy to do too. I can do that in another video if you like. Right now we want a single window. So let's go to the window walls. Okay, sorry guys. I'm getting tired. Oh, okay. Why is that not working? That's weird. Oh, it was working. And it was... Alrighty then. It was working. Okay. What I like to tell everybody is when you're doing something like this, grab your textures that you're going to be working with. Grab your textures. Grab all your textures, get that on. Turn this over. The texture that's up above, you just want to get rid of that. Don't even worry about it. Put it back to blank. That's where it was before. Get your inside texture, because you're going to need this inside texture. Don't leave the inside texture alone. You want to be able to bring the inside texture with you, just so you can line everything up. The colors of these walls will not stay this. It's going to go into a lot of a different thing. There will be URLs in the note cards where I get all my texturings and stuff from, and where you can purchase it. So that is pretty cool how I'm gonna do this. Eventually I probably will include like a coloring HUD or whatever, but not right now. Not right now. I'm not gonna work on that. I'll probably do that like next week. So we're gonna move this over here, and we're actually going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to show you guys how I bring in a lot of the walls and stuff. So I don't really like to say destroy, but I like to revamp. That is actually a better word, Tara. I like to revamp how to do stuff. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. We're revamping. So I've decided that we're only going to do one window in the middle. I know it has to be 1.5 for the size. Okay, so it's 1.5. It'll probably look like this when you're done. It will be a very, very small window. It's not going to be a very big window. If you want to do a bigger window, you can do 2.0. But the problem with that is you'll have to go down here to your template and go to 2.0. And then you want to figure out your middle area. And I don't know if it stayed there, so we'll just move it over there and we'll have that come back. Okay, so it was working good. All right, so we got the middle. Actually, I think we're going to keep the 2.0. I'm going to scroll my thing over here. I'm going to grab me a corner. We're going to need a corner, of course. We're going to bring it over all the way over here. We're going to do the same thing we did for the last part. We're going to bring it down. We're going to bring it back. Don't go too back, but you're going to go backwards. Okay. We're going to leave that there. We're going to bring this back. We're going to bring that out. We don't really need that right now. We know that the middle ground is exactly this measurement. So we're going to take this and put it on the middle. So you have a middle area. So we know that we know how big our room is. So what we could do, I'm going to grab my phone here, grab my calculator. So we know the middle prim is 2.0. So let's get the measurements of the entire room. So I know this needs to go to these measurements. And all you have to do is minus, so get the size of the room and minus that of your middle part that you want to do. If you want to do a middle in the one window down in the middle, which I think is pretty cool, especially for a walk-in closet. You don't want a very big walk-in closet. I've seen bigger, but we don't need very bigger. We just like it perfectly tiny. So, that is pretty big. Actually, wait a minute. I know why that's so big. It has to be half of that. So then you want to get the size of this. And you want to divide it by 2. Now we got the final measurement. 702,325. I had a father who was an architect, so he's taught me quite a bit. So what we could do, we're going to grab the textures again. And we're going to grab the top piece to blank. We're going to grab this area to 100 transparency. You don't want that to collide. You want that as well for this other pieces. So we'll do 100 trans. Okay. Oh, in this area here, you want this blank. And there you go. I think that's blank. It's blank, okay. Now we're just gonna move this over. And get another piece. We're going to move that over. The corner edge, you can select it, put it to a 0 trans. You want to grab this part, go to 100, and you want to turn that around. So usually people just do that. It's just fine. It works. But what you can do is just, you know, if you have to turn it over, it says 260, it's 270. Put this at 100 trans. And then you want to flatten it. Not too flatten, but you want to flatten it a little bit. And bring it over. Okay, bring it all over. Now, the lining of the prim, it'll be perfect here, but it won't be perfect here. What we can do is we know that this is a room and we know this is a room, but we know that this is not a room. Okay, so we know that that is a single prim. Oh, whoops. Over here in the behind where the family room is, this is just one single line. This is basically all it is. So we know how big this needs to be. Just grab that measurement. And grab this. There you go. That is all you got to do. Sometimes you got to finagle it. Okay. And remember, when you're doing this, it's not going to look like it's supposed to. Now I realize why it wasn't looking right, so we're gonna have to try to fix this really quick. So we're just gonna back this in. Okay, that's fine. And it's not gonna line up again, so let's try to get the measurements for the height again. Sometimes it's trial and error, especially for this game. It's definitely not like The Sims 4. The Sims 4 was so much easier. You just put down a room and you're fine. And then I'm just going to grab, I need to know if this looks fine. It looks decent. There, that looks good. This is good as it's gonna get. Now I know the measurements for each thing that we need to have, so we're just going to go here, here, and here. I'm going to move this over. I'm actually going to move this over one. And we know that this prim is higher than this other one. So we can bring this down. This, all you have to do is just select it, bring it down. Select it, bring it down. And this too. Okay. So we know the reason why this isn't working. A lot of people would probably be scratching their heads like, why is this not working? You could probably think that it's not where it needs to be, so we'll just remove it, select it. Okay. And just select this to a 0, 100 I mean, and we're also going to have to do this as 100 too. The big problem about this part is when you're adding onto a room, you're adding about 3 extra prims. So instead of a 100 prim home, which is my goal, I'm trying to make it under 100. So people who are making houses into skyboxes and they want to use this as a skybox, they can. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab this over here. I'm gonna turn this around. And I'm just gonna grab this and bring it back. Just bring it back. I'm actually just going to grab the thickness. Make sure it's works, I guess you want to say. Yay. That actually looks really nice. Make sure these parts are left the way they are. Don't worry about this. You'll get this fixed in a minute. Bring that over. Bring it over. And cinch it all the way down. I'll show you in a minute what happens when you do that part. Okay. Problem with doing this, it screws up your corner a little bit. So if you don't want your corner too messed up, just want to bring it over a little bit more. Sometimes this happens and it's just clipping. And if it's happening, bring a little bit of this over one, and it should fix the issue. The same thing goes over here. If you have an issue of clipping or a line, you want to finagle it. Just try to just bring it a little bit over, and you should be fine. Okay, so we have a clipping here, but that's fine. We won't have to really worry about it. Bring your items forward. So over here is, this is what happens when you have things that are meant for corners and you have a big giant gap. So you have a giant gap here, and when you have a giant gap, it's causing you having issues that way. Let's see here. That should be good enough. Just trying to fix this area first. Copy. Paste. And bring this over. And there you go. So just don't look how I've done this. It looks really stupid, but it works. And at least I made a house that was mesh. So let's get the extra parts, just an extra part. And we want to get a block. So we want to get, you can get either side. Okay. Or we can get just a single little block. We're going to move this over, all the way over. And see, it looks stupid the way it's done right now. And the house is going to be like, why did she make it look like Sims 4? This is what some real life homes really do look like. I've seen the floor plans a lot worse than this. Trust me, it just doesn't make sense. So we're just lucky this makes sense. That's how I see it. So we're just going to grab this part here. We're going to grab this, and this, and put it all to 100. So now it says, basically you think, oh wow, okay, what happened to that room? It's the way I do it. It's the way I make it look perfect. Okay, so I know this wall has to stay at 4.0. Oh, Diva. Poor kitty. Alright. But I know part of the wall is not 4.0, and it's quite different. It depends on how you make everything. Alright, so we're just going to copy it and go from there. Okay. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. Copy. And paste. Okay, so we have this sort of in where it needs to be. Like, sort of. Like, not fully. But we have it sort of lined up, I guess. We're actually missing one little important part, and your textures. So grab your texture. Always pick one temp texture and one permanent texture when your houses are built. So I know a lot of this isn't going to look like this when it's done, but I know that I need a temp texture for it to work correctly. Okay, so for my object to work the way I want it to work, it needs to line up correctly. So I know that this is a singleton. So we're going to grab this and move it over. And the singleton sort of worked. Okay. If I really want to know where the cut for the window is, just look for the little piece of white here. So I'm just going to bring this back Copy. Paste. And I'm just going to bring that back a little bit more. This is much more thicker than something else. So we could leave the thickness, or I could just bring back the thickness to the way it is. We could do that, and that means the singleton position might work a lot better. So grab that, paste it, and we're just going to move this over. Okay, and we know that there's an issue with the measurements, so we're going to grab this measurement and put it into here, and that did not work. See, there's a big gap. So what we could do is we could redo it. If you really want to, we could redo it. So that's what I did. I just did CTR Z really close, really as quick as I can. Because if I didn't, I would be stuck in that predicament. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that over here. And I know this is the same width as this. So let's make this the same width. And let's position the exact area. And let's move it over. Okay, and I'll show you guys what we're supposed to do after. Just wait. And we'll position this over here. Okay. So it looks sort of okay. It really does. The only one issue we have is the window frames. We'll just bring down the window and bring up the window. Okay. And there you go. You have it. That is how I make my mesh homes. It's basically all it is. It's easy. You gotta worry. You basically gotta have the carpenter. You gotta be able to be raised around a carpenter. And my grandfather, he was a mechanic, electrician, a miner, a plumber, and a carpenter. So my dad, he taught me a lot of things. So I still to this day, I bring a lot of it into real life, and it has taught me a lot of amazing things that I never knew that my father would have ever done for me. So we're just gonna fix this up. Perfect. If you don't get it, always try again. That's what my father used to say to me when I was little. If you don't get it, try again. There we go. Alright, so we could leave it like this, and I could lose a window, Or I could just leave it like this. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is just leave it like that. That's pretty. I like it. It looks good. We'll go from there. Okay, so I think we're just going to do the balcony and stuff later on. Let's go get a roof. And then we'll just touch stuff up. So how to put not like a roof, but a ceiling. You can go to extra parts if you really want to. Okay. You could go to frame and windows. Wait a minute, where is it again? Floor. Okay. So you got your floor, and you can use it, of course, as a floor. So we're just going to grab, bring it down. This should still be the same measurements as this. And let's just do that really, really quick. It just makes it look presentable. And then get that down to the position, your middle. And bring it back. And there you go. You got it. There we go. Now all we have to do is just leave it like this. We can just leave it like that. That's basically all we have to do, is just leave it like that. And we can figure out, this is a one area we can actually use. So let's bring the height of this room. So that's that. And the width. You need the height and the width. And then you got to go to your middle part. Your middle. And then your edge. And then you just stretch it. And then what you want to do is bring this over here. And you just want to stretch that. And you want to go all the way down. And I'm thinking about making this into like a covered balcony area. So I'm just going to go, I can go all the way down and make it to a giant balcony covered area. So let's just go all the way down. I could do this. And then what I could do is add a different coloring to that. And I think I'm not going to do that though. So let's move it back. Let's move it back. And let's grab this part. Let's grab that part over there. It's called Let's Put a Roof on It. Instead of Let's Put a Ring on It, let's put a roof on it. And that is all we're gonna do. This is all you can do. And some people have a different way of doing it. Other people follows the creator's rules or ways that he made the HUD usable. But this is how I'm comfortable of doing my builds. I'm not comfortable of learning from anything else or anyone else. I've been learning how to make homes by myself. I've literally have done it for years and it has turned out. It just doesn't look that bad. And I also play a lot of Sims 4. And the Sims 4 brings a lot of help too of building in Second Life. So you know how you like your homes in the Sims 4 and you know how you really like them not all boxy and they have the really, really awesome curb appeal. That is how you can do it. You can bring that into Second Life if you really want to. Um, so we're just gonna grab this part, and I know the measurements. So we go, this can go green. That can go red. And we can put this all the way back here. Okay, so now I'm just going to select all of the ceiling. And the only way that I know it's all selected is by selecting black. And a very old friend, God rest his soul, he's no longer with us anymore. He's actually has passed on because of COVID, as I said before. This is the way that he taught me to do it. He said that always make sure that you have a key point, that you know everything is perfect before you lay down your walls. And make sure there's no gaps in your ceiling. Don't want any creatures coming in. Okay. And make sure that's good over there. And then what you want to do is fix this part. So we just want to go edit link parts, and you want to go on link, and you just want to go to your stretch. I love doing this. This is fun. This is really fun. And then you go there, stretch all the way down. There we go. And then later on, when I get up in the morning, when I have fresh eyes, I'm just going to touch up the roof because that roof does not look great. Right now, we have a ceiling on our new home, and that is all you really have to do. That's all the way you can build. You can use the older way, you can use the newer way. I know that if you do want to build mesh, it is expensive. I think I did an estimate, the entire Zimberland, it would probably be about 50 to 60 bucks to $100 Canadian. Um, I've probably only spent half of that already, so it is really expensive when it's done. So you got to think about if that's what you want to do. So do you want to spend that much to make back? And I've thought not a lot of people are buying box prim homes a lot of the time anymore. It's usually full mesh, and that's what people are looking for. So let's walk through before I go to bed, making sure everything's. I do need to touch up a lot of walls and a lot of floors in the morning, and I do need to go through the texturings, and I need to go do windows, and I need to do the doors, and I gotta wait till next week to even get the door scripts, which that can wait. I actually want to do as slow as possible to make this correctly. There's another part there. This is beautiful. I like how open and airy it feels already. All right. I really like the way this turned out. Actually, let's go in here and we'll just sign off for the night. Alright, everyone. So I'm sorry if that actually was a very long video, but I just wanted to show you guys how I do a lot of my building. I've been doing this technique for quite a bit of time, but now I want to actually share everybody how I've been building with mesh. The really good thing about this is I don't have any issues with lag or anything with the Zimberland, so definitely yes. All right, gotta go, guys. See you tomorrow. Hit the like, subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.